Hello everyone, welcome back to Paranormal Contact. So the year's drawing on. It's pretty well October now, first week of October, and I think around this time lots of people think about Halloween and what that means to a lot of people. Kids obviously love it, adults like grumpy old men like me hate it. People coming and knocking at my door asking for sweets really cheeses me off. But, you know, the thing is, where did it all come from? Where did all this start? So, if we look back in history, the actual festival, if you like, or the thing that really probably started off Halloween was a thing called, it reads Samhain, but it's pronounced Samhain. Okay, which was a Celtic pagan festival, and really this was to bring on the end of the harvest and the start of winter. And not long behind that was a Christian festival called All Saints' Day, which was on the 1st of November, and All Hallows' Eve is the day before All Saints' Day. So let's just have a look into some of the history of all these things, like carving pumpkins, trick-or-treating, wearing costumes. In the 8th century, Pope Gregory III designated November the 1st to be that All Saints' Day. And it seems that this incorporated or brought together some of the traditions of Samhain as well. And the two sort of joined together to form what we call today Halloween. So let's take a look at a few of the things. So carving of pumpkins. This was originated in Ireland actually. And it wasn't pumpkins that we used originally, it was turnips. So there's a legend of Stingy Jack, who reportedly captured the devil and would only let him go under the condition that Jack would never have to go to hell. Well, when Jack died, he learned that heaven didn't want him either. So he was forced to wander the earth as a ghost forever, for eternity. And the devil gave Jack a burning lump of coal in a carved out turnip to light his way on the earth. And it was this legend that really inspired people to start carving out the faces in turnips. And this was to ward off evil spirits, like Stingy Jack, who was now a spirit, and to keep them away from your homes and doing you any harm. So what about seeing ghosts, or this being the time when you know the veil is thinner, as we'd like to describe it? So the festival of Samhain marked the transition of the end of the year, or the harvest, and the beginning of the winter. So Celts believed that during this festival, spirits would walk the earth. And as we said earlier, All Souls' Day, which came a little later, perpetuated the idea of the living coming into contact with the dead around this time of year. So you can see how these stories have all sort of clumped together to give us what we've got today as our Halloween. The wearing of costumes and trick-or-treating, again, to avoid being terrorised by all these evil spirits that would be walking around at this time of year. The Celts decided to dress up as evil spirits, so that if they encountered an evil spirit, they would not be mistaken for a person. The spirit would think they were just another spirit walking around. And that's brought on today the tradition of us dressing up and going out and doing trick-or-treating. There was also a Scottish practice called guising, which I think that comes from the word disguising. And they would go out, and it would be the poor people and the children, and they would go around and offer, basically they would dress up and if you could try and guess who they were, sorry, I've got that a little bit mixed up. If you could they would go around, and if you could guess who they were, then you would be rewarded basically with some candy or something like that. So they would also offer prayers for people. So the reward for the people for guessing would be that there would be prayers offered on their behalf for the dead or for the living. And that brings us on to yet another theory, which is the practice of it's a German-American practice of Bolznickeling, I think is how it's pronounced. And again, children would dress up in costumes and adults would have to try and work out who they were, and there would be a prize there for the children if the adults couldn't guess who they were, etc. That would usually be candy or some type of food. I think it's interesting that all of these things, they're based around really the time of plenty, which the harvest is. There's lots of food around. There's lots of nice things around to eat, and it's a good time to go out and get people to give you those things, I guess. So that's probably been going on for years and years and years. But some other interesting little snippets that go along with it. The colours, black and orange, why are they so associated with Halloween? Well, the black signifies the end of the summer, the harvest coming to its end. And the orange is the colour associated with autumn. And it symbolised that everything with harvest was gathered in and was here now, and there was plenty around. So those two colours, even the two colours we associate, black and orange, are deeply rooted in the traditions of Halloween. What about lighting candles and bonfires? Well, again, going back to Samhain, the Celtic festival, they would light giant fires back then to try and guide the spirits of the dead back to the underworld or back away from people. I don't quite know how that worked. I wasn't there, but obviously I think the lighting of the big bonfires, if you could imagine, you'd probably feel a little bit safer. It was warmth, there was light. You would look out from the bonfire and you just see the darkness all around you. You'd probably feel a little bit safer with a big bonfire going. But they were there to mark the way for the souls who wanted to move on into the afterlife. And I think we've sort of replaced that today really with the use of candles and things like that. Halloween. It's a funny old time, isn't it? I often feel around this time that the veil is thinner for some reason. I don't know if that's just because I've always felt that, I have a connection to paganism and to that type of religion. I've not really felt that connected to Christianity, though I have tried Christian religions. I've looked into them, and I'm not getting into a debate about religions and things. It's everybody's, to each their own. I don't judge people on that at all. But yeah, Halloween seems to have been really a pagan festival that was taken, sort of blended in with Christian festivals by the popes and different people around those times, and you've got this real mishmash now of everything. In my opinion, it's really over commercialized now. You go out into the shops and there's all this tack hanging around for Halloween, and there's sweets and sweets and sweets and sweets for the kids that are going to be coming around. I mean, I'm quite lucky. I live out in the country, so we don't get huge amounts of children coming around to our door knocking for sweets. But in fairness, we always have a tin of sweets there just in case there's one or two. Because although I like to say I'm a grumpy old bugger, I do, quite like having the kids come round sometimes and knock the door. It's once a year. It doesn't really do any harm. I guess maybe Christians would view it a different way. Some Christians view it as quite a pagan festival, depending on what the way you look at it. If you believe pagan festivals are evil and they're worshipping devils and spirits and ghosts, well, really you've got to distance yourself from that if that's your belief and that's your opinion, haven't you? I don't think there can be too much of a compromise there. Yet somehow we have got exactly that. We've got the pagan beliefs and the Christian beliefs all crushed in together and giving us this thing that we now call Halloween. So it's a little while from Halloween yet. That I'm doing this video on the first week of October. So, autumn is definitely here outside, and winter not here yet, but you can certainly feel there's a nip in the air over here now. But yeah, what's your thoughts on Halloween? What do you think about it all? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. I'm sure some of you have got much more knowledge about it than I have. So I'd love to hear some of your input from it. As regards what we're going to be doing for the Halloween season, well, we've got some investigations and things planned that I think we're going to be discussing soon, myself and Dave. We're trying to get a couple of new places to go and visit, and we're hoping that they come off. We're going to go back to a couple of our old spots as well and just finish off some investigations that we've done. Yeah, I think the channel's going well. I think we're pushing on with things at the moment, but hope you're all still enjoying it. I say Dave at the moment, believe it or not, he's on a week off and he's travelling off to Cornwall to have a look round in Cornwall and just take a look at the area down there, see if he can find anything. That's quite away from us. That's a good 2.5, 3 hour drive. So he's gone off on his own with a tent. Crazy. I couldn't sleep in the tent anymore. And he's going to just be having a look round, and then maybe he'll get some interesting bits and pieces that will stick into a video as well. So anyway, whatever you're doing for Halloween, I hope you enjoy it. If you celebrate it, if you don't, that's okay too. And really, that's it for me. So goodbye from Paranormal Contact. Hope you've enjoyed this little video. It's only a little short one. And have a great Halloween. Have a great rest of the year. We'll see you all soon. Take care. Bye.